Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Right About Now. I'm your host, Chris Jones. I am joined by the Kenya Cabine to discuss some of his experiences in and around the entertainment industry. What's up, brother Kenya? How's it going?
My dog, Chris, what's happening?
I could hardly wait to get you on here. Hadn't physically seen you in a while, so that was a part of me being eager to.
Yeah.
So how you look good, man. What's going on?
Man, I appreciate you. Look good too, man. First of all, thank you for having me on your podcast, man. I love it for research, because anytime someone asks me to do their podcast, I go and check out the podcast, and I went straight to the one with you and Shannon. And Shannon, it's cool just to see how everybody's doing really good, man. So I'm proud of you, brother. And I know you have a beautiful family, man. Congratulations on your family and all your success, brother. But everything is good, man. I'm doing well.
I appreciate that. And thanks for bringing up Shannon, too. He and I, after that particular podcast, we made it our business like every other week. Well, sometimes every week, but every other week on average. We try to have a touch point to talk about delve into some more intricacies around AI, artificial intelligence, and some other things that our people, as a people, need to know more of. So you're going to see more in and around that subject with Shannon and I, and probably some other guys.
Yeah, I like to hear that, brother.
Yeah,
man. That's awesome, man.
So look, Mr. Savannah State, you know, you don't know it, but I refer to, okay, for the record, I refer to a lot of people as Mr. and Mrs. Savannah State. Obviously stemming from, I'm letting the cat out of the bag, right? That's where we originally met.
Yeah.
At Savannah State back in the early 90s. I'm proud of that, by the way. You know, we did a little cough thing, like in all seriousness. I'm proud to say early 90s, yes, Savannah State College, then college. If you could just provide just some top level information with respect to who Kenya Cabine is for those who may not be aware.
All right. Who is Kenya Cabine? Well, first and foremost, I'm a child of God. All right. I am the son of the late Rebecca and Larry Cabine. I am a voiceover talent. I'm an actor and an all around good dude that moves with integrity. How about that?
A good dude that moves with integrity. I love that, brother. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I got to just go with what's on my mind right now.
Yeah, man.
So hearing you, right? You know, you're acting, you know, your voiceovers, former radio hosts, right? I want to kind of delve into certain tidbits of that.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this first and foremost. Kenya, you've always had one of the voices. Your voice, you hear your voice in a room and oh, that's Kenya. Oh, okay, Kenya's coming. Kenya, okay. People, your voice is synonymous with so many things, right? So just a quick question off the cuff. How early or how young were you, like when you first may have heard someone allude to the fact that you could be in a space like that, be it television, radio, etc.?
Man, that's a good question, Chris. Because and I say that because growing up, my voice was light, and when I would call into the radio station V103, I'll never forget this dude. I was like, yeah, you know, I want to hear such and such song. He was like, all right, thank you, honey, and tell me what station do you? No, what school do you go to? And I was like, I'm a dude, like I'm a boy. I go to Camp Creek Middle School, and ever since then, I always tried to like drop my voice. You know what I'm saying? Just to, you know, like just man up the voice a little bit. But when I first noticed that I had the voice, right, was when I came to Savannah State and when I auditioned for WACJ. I tried out at WACJ. Shouts out to Ike Carter over there, and they were saying that I had this like amazing voice. And so that's when I knew that, you know, there was something special about my voice.
So I would have lost $1 million had someone, you know, they have the game shows. They're like, well, true or false or whatever. Has Kenya's voice ever been, you know, misconstrued with a female? Or I would have said, Hell no.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right. But this is my voice, so it's not like at this age I don't have like a like hi, how are you? Like I don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted, people. But yeah, that's my voice, man. And it's crazy just to have such a recognizable voice, even here in Atlanta. Like coming from Savannah to Atlanta, and when people they're like, "Oh, I recognize your voice." I was dealing with I went to go see, there was a concert I went to a couple of weeks ago, Moonchild concert here in Atlanta. And the young lady I was on the phone with about my tickets was like, I'm tripping right now because I'm on the phone with you. I grew up listening to you and your voice. She said, as soon as you said, hello, I'm calling about my tickets. She said, I knew who it was. I'm like, what? That's crazy. But that's a blessing. You know what I mean, Chris? That's a blessing. And I don't take it for granted at all, man. I'm truly blessed and thankful for it. It's my moneymaker, man.
Well, okay, there we go. I was going to get to that too.
Yeah.
On the heels of that statement in itself, kind of like the entertainment industry, any specific facet of it, radio, whatever. When did you know that that's the direction you wanted to go in or head into?
I got to give props to my mom on that one. She saw something in me when I was 12 years old, Chris. She actually enrolled me in acting classes at the Alliance Theater at the age of 12 years old. And that's when, and because she saw something, because I was creative, I was dramatic, always, just always into something, but she saw that I had that acting ability. So she enrolled me in acting class at the Alliance Theater here in Atlanta. And that was how I got my start. That was actually how I got my start. I used to do commercials here in Atlanta, and I also did stage productions for the Alliance Theater at the age of 12. I did it for 3 years, and then I stopped doing it. There was a family member that I really looked up to, and I was telling him, this is something that I'm doing, and that was back in the day. So he was like, well, you have to understand that acting isn't really a steady profession and you won't make a lot of money in it. And he kind of deterred me from it. So as a result, I stopped doing it. But eventually entertainment found its way back to me when I came to Savannah and got in radio.
And it opposite ends of that. Your mother, saw it in you and supported you. Mm-hmm. And then you heard later, some words from someone trustworthy, if you will, who kind of made you changed course just a little bit, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah, and he didn't know. My uncle didn't know. Bless his heart. He's shouts out to Uncle Dean, love him to death, but he didn't know at the time. But he was coming from a good place. Let's just be clear. I think that at the time he was coming from just a concerning place to say, hey, why don't you do this? But he didn't understand that really crushed my dream too at the same time. Even though he didn't intentionally mean to do that. He was just trying to say you need to move forward into a career that's going to be more stable and bring in a steady income, because the reality is this is a tough business, brother. This business is like, the door is always being slammed in your face all the time. And, we could talk more about that later, but I mean, it's just one of those industries where, it's just like, no, but all it takes is one yes. All it takes is one yes. And when that yes happens, Chris, it's amazing. It's wonderful, bro. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying the journey. Learning is such a great field, man. It's awesome, bro.
So I want to stay there for a second. I was going to get to it later, but since you just shared that part, how do I want to frame this question? I pose it this way. You hear the no's. How do you create the skin to take and accept those no's and still chart the course?
It's not easy, especially at first, like when you're a beginner, because you're thinking, okay, if you book something the first time, then the roles are just going to start coming. Then it slows down and you're getting rejected all the time. I think the way to really get through it is just understanding that everything happens for a reason, and whatever is meant for you is meant for you. That's the only way I can explain. That's the best way I can explain it, Chris, is whatever is meant for you is for you. Like when people, they get upset, oh, why did she get promoted on the job? it was meant for her. It wasn't meant for you. You know, why did Kenya Cabine get on Tyler Perry, All the Queens? It was meant for me. You know what I'm saying? Like everything happens for a reason, and it's all God's plan. So that's how I combat that. I audition, bruh, all the time, man. Even when you hit me up and said, "Hey, Kenya, I want you to do my podcast," and I just started reflecting, and I just finished an audition for a commercial audition, and I was going through all the past auditions that I've done for the past 7 years. Chris, it's been like hundreds of auditions. Wow. It's like, wow, but I can see the growth.
Yeah,
when I first started, like how horrible that was to where I am now. Man, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing. So it's just, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, bro.
Yeah,
for me.
I run into so many young folks who, not only young folks, just people in general who get discouraged, outright discouraged, and they never return. They never go back. Like you said, you circle back eventually, right? It found you the opportunity. And I've always wanted to be like in a space and place to help folks regain that focus, to have that traction and to get the momentum again. And especially, like you said, if this is something that God has put in your spirit and like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. What are you physically doing now? What are the things that you could share?
Okay, because there are some things coming up in the future, but what I'm working on right now, I have a stage play called Church Women that's directed by a woman out of Atlanta named Sonia Wells. Very extremely incredible director, incredible writer. We'll be doing this play down in Pompano Beach, Florida on May 23rd. So if you're in the Pompano Beach area, you got to make sure that you go get your tickets because the play is amazing. And Sonia, I've worked with her before. I worked with her last year on a play that was incredible. So she tapped me I actually asked her, I was like, do you have anything available for me this year? And she was like, well, I'll write you in because you're a good actor. And that says a lot, right? That she actually wrote me into a play that they already did like 6 months ago. We're doing the play out of state, and she actually wrote a part for me. So I feel like that's a blessing. You know what I mean? I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. So I'm working on that. And I'm also working on a film. It's a short film called Cloud 9. We start shooting this film. It's an independent film. We'll start shooting this film next month. So I'm super excited about it. And this is my first role as a lead. The leading man. I'm excited about that for many reasons because, the reality is, and, I'm going to just be real. Okay. Like opportunities like that don't really come to a brother my size, right? Okay. You know what I mean? Okay. So, it's inclusive casting. But I'm very appreciative. So I'm excited about that. And then also, too, this is going to be like the first role that people can really be able to see my acting chops because you've all seen me in like other stuff, again, like online and, like on TV and everything like that. But this is actually going to be my first, like, I'm carrying the movie. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm really excited about it.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, man. But yeah, so I'm gonna be working on that, and we start filming next month.
Wow, and that was the Cloud 9.
Cloud 9, yeah. So we'll be filming that, and I don't know when it's gonna come out. You know how that goes with the editing and everything like that, and then. There's some projects that I've already worked on in the past. There's some commercials that I've shot last year. I'm just waiting to drop this year that I can't talk about.
Okay, there we go. That's I'm like, let me make sure I frame this question in the right way, to not put my man too much on the spot, if you will. Kenya, okay, radio host in Savannah. You were only a radio host in Savannah, correct? Did you?
No, in Savannah, Georgia, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I did radio and television in both markets.
Okay. So hosting, voiceover.
Yes, sir.
Say again, can you?
No, I was entertainment correspondent on the Fox affiliate in Myrtle Beach and in Savannah, Georgia at WSAB.
Okay, you got that under your belt, thriving, check marks, voiceovers, acting, as you just mentioned a couple of roles and such, I always like asking, and this is really kind of putting you on the spot. What has been some of your most, I don't want to say favorite, some of your most prized or most memorable aspects of everything that you just mentioned? What stands out?
Mm-hmm. The most memorable and the one that I'm most proud of is two of them, actually. My first booking for Fox, that was like when people first saw me on national TV, was for a Fox show called Monarch, starring Susan Sarandon, Thelma and Louise. So,
Oh,
so that was like my first. I had like a part on that where they brought me in as the songwriter. It was amazing. So that was my first booking, like my first huge booking. And then probably the one I'm most thankful for that a lot of people recognize me for is Tyler Perry's All the Queen's Men, because I had a 2-episode arc. My character was a trip on that show. And, it's crazy when the first person that actually recognized me, there was a woman at First Watch, this restaurant here in Atlanta, breakfast spot. And I was eating breakfast and she kept on staring at me and she said, I saw you on, and she had to have been like 70 years old. She's like, I saw you last night on All the Queen's Men. I'm thinking, what are you doing watching All the Queen's Men with the strippers and the sex and the violence and everything? But it's Mr. Perry. That's what he does. He knows his audience. So that was my most exciting for many reasons. I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, again, because it's Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was actually my second time working with him, because a lot of people don't know is that I've been auditioning for All the Queen's Men ever since season number 1. Right?
Oh, wow.
Chris, when it came out, my agents, they were sending me all these auditions, but the casting directors kept calling me back in. They were like, this isn't for you. We're let's see how you look on this. Let's see how you look. But they kept on sending me stuff. And finally, after season 4 is when I got booked, but they actually booked me for a voiceover gig for All the Queen's Men in season 2. So you hear my voice on a telephone call with one of the actors on the show. And that was a cool experience, because to go to the Tyler Perry studios and just see this is, a black man created this right here.
Right.
This is this used to be a Confederate army base, and now it's owned by a black man. You just feel that energy, and everybody's so uplifting and positive there. So it was All the Queen's Men has to be my number one favorite thing that I've ever done, man. It was, and then just to go on set, and the first people that like jump up and see me is there's an actress by the name of Crystal Wilson here in Atlanta. A lot of people know her as Ronnie Ho from the Players Club, the blonde head stripper in the Players Club.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
When I walked on set, she jumped up and was like, "Oh my gosh, Kenya Cabine!" And everybody was like, it was crazy. So she jumped up. So then everybody just came up and was just introducing themselves and stuff. And I was like, damn, that's what's up. Rashawn Ali, like she's
okay.
Like, I knew her. Like, so she came up, showed me love. So I'm just appreciative of all the people that I didn't think knew me. You know what I mean? Like they just showing me love like that. I think that's love.
So it's kind of ironic that you're mentioning those names, right?
Mm-hmm.
A few names, because I had a question that I was going to ask you about. I'm like, man, Kenya has crossed paths, or the likelihood that he's crossed paths with so many different people.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I should ask him a question around that. Like, who had he seen that like totally caught him off guard? But I'm like, I'm not going to ask him anything like that. I mean, you can give us an answer, but I mean, I'm so what I do want to ask though, when you, and I know you keep it cool, calm, and collected. Now I know that. I remember that part and that side of you.
Yeah.
So do you ever find yourself getting a little, feeling some kind of way you run into certain actors and actresses and like that? What has that experience been like? Are you Kenya Cabine at all times?
Yeah. Because, at the end of the day, being that I was in radio, for like 20 years. And all the celebrities I came in contact with and interviewed. And that's how I actually met Cristal from my interviews when I used to interview her on the radio. So it was like, so it's not really a big deal when I meet celebrities here, you know, and then I'm from Atlanta, and, you know, we were used to seeing celebrities all the time growing up. So I never really fanned out. The only person I ever fanned out on was Prince. That was the only time out in LA.
Well, come on now. That's
That's
excusable. I mean, come on.
But everybody else, Chris, I've just, you know, because every celebrities are just like us, you know, they're just like us, man. They just might make a little bit more money and know more people or have more people following them and fame, but you know, they're regular people just like us.
I'm still a little starstruck when I see certain people now. I'm not, because I didn't live in Atlanta, right? My folks were there. I'm from Waynesboro. You know that. I'm from Burke County.
Yeah, Burke County.
So, you know, there you go. So when I was in Atlanta, you know, around Atlanta, I would see certain stars or whatever. Yeah, I would be a little, you know, starstruck. I do have an admission, Kenya.
Okay.
For the longest, I actually thought, don't know why, I actually thought you were from Savannah. I'm talking, I mean, I've known you're from Atlanta for years, decades. But back in the day, I originally thought you were from Savannah.
I get that a lot, Chris, because of my radio, my time at E93 Radio. I started there before I graduated college. So that's probably why. And a lot of people that live in Savannah, they think I'm a Savannah native, you know, so it's just, but I always used to try to represent Atlanta all the time. But it's like, you know, I'm down here in Savannah, and, you know, they got to feel me and, you know, like love on me, you know, so, so, you know, they took me in as one of their own in Savannah. So Savannah's like my second home. It's definitely like my second home. Yeah. Love Savannah. Shouts out to everybody in Savannah, Georgia.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I'm from the ATL, College Park.
So, okay, let's make that known, make that clear, okay? I know the bulk of the folks already know. I want to ask, you mentioned, we kind of alluded to it a little about the challenges. What you mentioned earlier, is there anything else that comes to mind in terms of some of the biggest challenges in and around the entertainment industry? Like, most folks would probably guess that, you're going to get turned down tens and hundreds of times, right? Depending on what market you're in or whatever. But what other challenges stand out to you that you care to mention?
Some other challenges, I think, is that, you know, it's crazy to see people get jobs based off of how many followers they have on Instagram, on social media, when they may not necessarily be the best or strongest actor. That is a challenge sometimes, but I don't worry about it because, again, if it's meant for me, it's meant for me. So you have a lot of people that, you know, those are like a lot of gripes from a lot of the actors, especially here in Atlanta. But again, I think the challenge is just, you know, trying to, here's the challenge. The challenge is really trying to stay focused, stay in those acting classes, right? We gotta study as actors, bro. You know, and sometimes just, you know, life be lifing, like the kids say, right? Life be lifing, and, you know, you have family and personal issues to take care of, and sometimes you can't make those acting classes. But, you know, it's challenging. It's challenging to stay focused. It's challenging to stay focused in this. But if you really want it, if it's something that you really want, you'll go out and do it. And that's what I'm doing. You know, I mean, I'm staying focused. I'm not worried about anything else. I'm not doing this as clout or anything like this. I've experienced all that. I want to be taken seriously as an actor. Right. I want people to say, man, he was a good radio personality, but he's an even better actor. That's what I want, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's already happening now.
Yeah.
That's what's already happening now. And the sky is the limit, man. And I'm telling you, bro, like, I'm so appreciative of everybody that shows me love and support. Again, I'm excited to be on your podcast. There's just so many good people that are just rooting for me. You know what I mean? So it just makes me want to just push through. So that's what it is. But yeah, that will be just the challenges. There's the biggest challenge, of course, is just the no's all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but all it takes is one yes. That's it.
Right.
It's not an easy field, man. I tell people that all the time, but if you really want it, you get in these acting classes. I actually have 2 acting coaches. And I go between the both of them, just to train, man. Like I want to be good, but like, I'm not going to lie. Like sometimes I might skip like a couple of months, and then they're hitting me up like, what's up? What are you doing? And then, I'm like, okay, I'm coming back, and I come back to class, but it's, yeah, man. That's something we have to do, man. We train as actors.
I hadn't expected to ask anything around what you mentioned minutes ago.
Yeah.
So that Atlanta transformation around, be it the old Fort McPherson, the new studios and such, like what has that been like? Is it truly like the new, or this another element of Hollywood down there?
Yes, it is, with all the movie studios down here. And a lot of people think it's just Tyler Perry Studios is here too, but that's just one of many studios. You have Lionsgate and NBC. There's so many studios in Georgia. Even they're building some down in Savannah. I think there are already some down in Savannah too. Really? So it's been cool just learning about like the studios. I did something for like Swirl Films. I know they do stuff for TV One. I did a project for them. I'm waiting for that to come out. It's their studios all over the place, and I'm like, man, I had no idea. But to answer your question, I love seeing the growth. I love seeing how the city has changed. As someone that's a native of Atlanta, like I love to see just so many people that are coming here. Well, no, I don't like to see too many people coming here. I ain't gonna be honest, because I'm gonna be honest. Because that traffic here is horrible. But I like seeing how the city has grown and evolved into this megatropolis, like this baby Hollywood. They call it the Black Hollywood here, which is true. It really is. I love it, bro. It's a lot of opportunity here. A lot of people willing to help. Of course, there's, the fakes and phonies out there too. I, swerve past that. I have amazing discernment. So, I stay away from that. But it's great just seeing the growth in the city. Love it.
Here's another question that came to mind that I didn't think I was going to pose. In terms of futuristically, you mentioned a couple things, the things that you could share. What would you like to do? Can you see yourself as a director? I mean, you're leading, playing the leading role now. And what does that evolution look like? A director someday, owning your own studio? I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I really appreciate that, Chris. I definitely see myself as a director eventually, producing. I've written some stuff already, so I'm working on writing too. Like writing is like the next big thing. I just have to stay motivated because my the guy at the Georgia Film Academy would just say, Kenya, you just have to just sit down, just write 1 page a day. If you could write 1 page a day, you'll be good. And sometimes I start writing and then I just kind of push it off to the side. But definitely writing, definitely producing and directing in the future. I just need to stay grounded and focused. Because my thing is, if I'm just set on one thing, acting, then I want to just take it to the next level. Then once I hit that plateau and that goal, then I'm gonna go to directing.
Right.
And, I'll move to the next. But I always want to be able to excel and accomplish one task, then move on. I'm not the dude that can juggle. I don't do it.
I've always been interested in that transition. You see these childhood actors and the evolution, the growth, and now they're in leading roles or a leading supporting role, if you will. And then you hear about them directing and then producing something or a combination. So I just always found that transition and evolution of actors very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, all of this experience, you've been in several different spaces, radio, television, voiceover, acting and all. Those young ones, and I keep saying that. I always say that, right? We talk about the young ones. No, well, there's some aspiring actors who are our age, who are, may have hung it up or something happened years ago and they went away and now they're thinking about coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone in that light, just an aspiring actor, period. Like, what would you tell them to do? You've already shared a few things on the front end, but what else comes to mind?
Well, the first thing I always tell people when they say that's something that they want to do, I tell them the first thing you have to do is get you some professional headshots, industry standard headshots. Don't, get your homeboy to do the shots. You need to, you have the internet, Google,
Right.
where you get the good industry standard headshots, and then start applying for agencies in Atlanta, just wherever, like whatever city that you're in, you submit to agencies and see who can represent you, because the agents are the gatekeepers and they're the ones that bring you the auditions. Now, there are industry websites that we go on, Actors Access, Casting Networks. Those are the websites that you go to find auditions, but ultimately you're going to have an agent that can walk you through certain doors and put you in certain spaces. So I have 3 agents. I have a commercial agent, I have a theatrical agent, and I have a voiceover agent. And those are the people that get me the jobs. And I think the main thing, Chris, that I would tell people to do is you got to watch who you hang out with. You got to watch people, because there's some people that just don't have your best interest, man.
Ooh.
There's people that will, act like they're your friends and, say that they're your homeboy or your girl and all this kind of stuff. But in actuality, they're jealous. You know what I mean? And you have to, when people show you who they are, you really have to believe them. I'm a nice guy, right? You know what I'm saying? And I remember, people used to try to take advantage of me because I'm a sweet guy. I'm really cool. But, I started realizing that I can't allow that. You know what I mean? And again, when it would happen, when people would take advantage of me, I would be mad, but the anger was misplaced. I think that I was actually angry at myself for letting that happen when I already knew how these people were. I see that they're haters. I see they talk about people behind their back. Who's to say they're not going to do it? They're not going to do that about me. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do the same thing to me. So yeah, I tell people you really have to watch people that you hang around with, because they will bring you down. And there's just some people that just don't mean you no good, bruh. I'm telling you. Yeah. There's some people that just don't mean you no good. So you got to watch that. When they show you who they are, you gotta believe them. You gotta believe them. I quick story. There was a person that I knew that they were. I knew that they were just full of, you know what I mean? But they came to my mom's funeral and I said, okay, despite that, I know that they're like this, I'm going to let them back into my life. And sure enough, they were just bad news. They were bad news. That's just me being, just a nice person. I can't do that anymore. So you got to watch who you let into your life. You do.
Got to watch. Wow. Kenya Cabine. This has been awesome, bro. To reconnect first and foremost, and for you to break this down, and then just to quickly touch on it, you having 3 agents, but had I asked you that early on without you kind of painting all these different pictures with respect to the amount of specificity and training and dedication that you have to have in each segment, I get it. I would have never understood that. I'm not in that space, right? I would have never understood that had you not broken that down over the last several minutes or so. So, brother, hey, thank you for your time, and thank you for coming on here for one. I'm like, Kenya. I said, let me reach out to Mr. Cabine to see if he could make a little time for a little brother to come onto the Life Writing Podcast.
Bruh, I really appreciate you letting me be on the show, man. I was excited when you hit me up, man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of everything that you're doing. And just keep it up, man. Stay focused, stay focused with it, and keep doing it. Definitely keep doing it, because you have a voice, man. People need to hear your voice and hear the good stuff that you're talking about, because it's informative. It helps the community, and you just know that, you know, people are watching. They're gleaming from you. They're going to gleam and get just one thing from you, you know, like two things or several things, but just know that, you know, you're doing this so people can better themselves. So I think that, you know, shouts out to you, brother. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
And that's a huge, that means a lot coming from someone like you who have been in and around this space, various levels and parts of it. I mean, it's Kenya. I'm just so appreciative, man. But I'm continuing to watch and see what your next moves, plural, are going to be. I'm still kind of geeked up over here, man. You got to.
Well, again, man, I appreciate you, brother. And for people that want to follow me on Instagram at Kenya Cabine, KenyaCabine. Well, you see it right there.
Yes.
And I'm also on Facebook too.
Again, brother, I thank you for coming on here, and I'm indebted. I'm gonna see you soon. I'm gonna see you in Atlanta or somewhere real soon.
All day, Chris. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And to the audience, hey, thanks for tuning in. Like this video, leave a comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Life Writing Podcast is another way we creatively inform and inspire, helping people write the lives they desire. Until the next time, take care.